Hi, everybody, and welcome to the monthly astrology snapshot. This one is for the cycle beginning at the new moon in Leo on the 19th and or 18th of August, depending where you are in the world. Now, this new moon in Leo is a breath of fresh air for us at this time where we're still navigating this, monumental historical moment that, is really confronting for most of us. We are living through a turn of the ages. There's just no doubt that this is an important time. This is a moment we will look back in the years to come and go, this is the year when everything changed. That the structures that have been holding us together, they are breaking down. And these structures that are breaking down are ones that don't really they don't really reflect who we are as a species anymore. I actually heard an incredible shaman say the other day, Alberto Villoldo, he said that the true meaning of the 2012 Mayan calendar prophecy is that it wasn't that the world would end. He was saying that that would actually be a time when a new human, a new type of human would be existing on earth, that they would be already here and they would be seeing the world very differently. To me, this connects in with the Hopi prophecies of the rainbow tribes. I think it's Hopi, I'm sorry if it's not, but I do know it's a Native American Indian prophecy around the rainbow tribe, so which speaks to a time when people of all color, skin, races, cultures would come together as one. And I feel like we're at the beginning of that. This is, I feel we're living through a time when those structures are changing that no longer match that, and that it has to break down to allow new forms, new structures to come in that actually give the new species of human a way to operate and function. And just like any shedding of a skin, any transformation, it's always uncomfortable, always uncomfortable. I love the Hindu triple god uh, teachings with Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And the Brahma is creation, Vishnu is sustaining, and Shiva is the destruction of worlds. And these three energies are always at play. And if you don't find a way to be with that continual breaking down, rebuilding, and sustaining in your life, and you're only wanting what capitalistic society wants, which is creation, 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 there's no space for the destruction unless we just have the bubble burst and the economy crashes. If we were open as a society, and I'm not saying this is the whole world, but much of the world is impacted by this kind of succeed, Brahma, create, create, create. Where do we have that space for sustaining, and where do we acknowledge as a species that breaking down? And that's what we're going through now. And if you as an individual don't know how to navigate that well, and you resist it, you resist the breaking down, then you will suffer. And this is happening in our individual lives constantly. Like, this is not just a bigger way of being on earth, this is happening at the individual level as well. So let's go to the new moon kicking off this cycle. It's in Leo. Leo is quite a creative energy. It is like a Brahma energy, and it has, to me, it feels like we've got an opportunity at this new moon to actually really have a break from all the breaking down, to tune into the energy of the sun. Sun is the ruler of Leo. And the sun is, continuously shining its life-giving light unconditionally on all of us, which is why Leos are associated with generosity, with, light and radiance. I don't know if you have any Leo friends, but their birthdays tend to be a whole thing that goes for a month. They just know how to be that center of the solar system. I love Leo energy. So at this new moon, at the beginning of this cycle, we get to just tune into that energy and just really soak up some of that power. This could be a really good time to stand in the sun. The only natural element in our world currently that is unpolluted is the light of the sun. Our waters are not as pure as they used to be. The earth isn't, the air isn't, but the sunlight still is. So you can really connect with that, put your hands out in the sun and just let the energy absorb in and just purify through your system. Really connect in with the sun at this new moon in Leo and practice love. To keep our hearts open, even though the world is going through this deep turmoil and we don't know what's coming next, to really align yourself with open-heartedness. It takes courage. It's really, it's like, to me, the theme of this lunar month is the brave heart. And this is amplified by the full moon in this lunar cycle happening in Pisces, which is all about compassion. So we've got this, new moon kicking off in Leo, which is love, which is courage, which is, actually sovereignty, being sovereign, finding that place within so that in amongst all the chaos, you can stay grounded and centered. You can stay with love no matter what. You don't have to buy into the bigger narrative that is spinning. You just don't. And with this full moon in Pisces, it's going to be super spiritual. Again, it's another opportunity for us to connect into the heart, to something sweet, to, really tune into the essence of Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, with that place where we're all connected. We're not separate from each other. If there's one thing this pandemic has taught us, is that it's really shown us, demonstrated to us, the undeniable reality that we are all in this together. We are all connected. We are not separate little countries. That's crazy to think of. So at that full moon in Pisces, that's a beautiful moment to really dial in, tune in to compassion, tune in to love. It is also really important to note that we have Mars in Aries throughout this month. In fact, Mars will be in Aries until the end of the year. And Mars is just now coming out of triggering and activating the really big dynamic that we are talking about in astrology, that's, kicking off this restructuring of reality, the breaking down of these old structures that no longer serve us. So Mars has been stirring that up. Mars is not a negative thing. Yes, he's passion. He's the warrior. He is, our revolutionary energy. He's initiating, and he is in Aries, which just exacerbates and actually amplifies that energy. But he is about to go retrograde, and that will kick in at the end of this current lunar cycle. But for now, he's still forward, but he will come back over these points, which is why, as astrologers, many are saying the rest of this year has an edgy feeling. This month still has an edge to it. September still, it's, not looking like a comfortable month as well. And that's why this new moon and full moon in Leo and Pisces is just such a blessing to just have, some stepping into the heart. Your mind, your wise mind does not live in your head. It actually lives in your heart, the wise heart. And this is a moment to really claim the regal sovereignty of Leo. Really claim that you don't have to buy into the drama. You just don't. And I'm not saying it's okay, nothing's happening. No, things are really changing. It's exhilarating to observe. And however, going into the fear, it's going to do is create more fear. All that's going to do is align you with, things to be more afraid of. You won't be able to see for yourself your personal opportunities. You can't connect with opportunities to move your storyline forwards. If all of us as individuals are moving our individual storylines forwards, no matter what, of course that's going to benefit reality. Of course, that's going to move into creation. While things are breaking down, we are still creating. There is these three, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. They're always, all three are playing out always on some level. Really sit and reflect on that in your own reality and see how you feel with that. Do you have a bias towards creating? Do you have a bias towards just status quo sustaining? The Vishnu energy? Or some people have a bias to destruction. But check it out. Don't just be parked in one or the other. Tune in to all three and feel, take note of how they move in your system. So, yes, there's a lot of Mars energy at play. Yes, he will go retrograde. However, we can take that passion of Mars, we can take that energy, and we can really channel it deeply through the love. We can have the courageous, brave, wise heart that is fearless, that is, no matter what's going on, I'm going to stay in my truth, in my sovereignty, and I'm going to stay with love. I'm going to stay here in my heart, and I'm going to stay connected to my wisdom through these times. And we can actually work consciously with these times in our lives to really use this intensity as an antagonist to support our inner work, to support our... It's like when things are so intense, there's more opportunity to practice patience, kindness, compassion, courage, to really tether yourself to these deeper truths. It is the only way through times like these. And another way is to practice how you are when things are changing. Things are always changing. That is a one constant truth that's never changing, is that things are always changing. There's always something breaking down. There's always something being created. Check out how you are with that. If you can't handle change, you will suffer, period. So these are moments where you learn how to stay with these deeper truths and you learn how to ride the energy. Really work with it. Really work with keeping your heart open no matter what. You can do it. Work with that, not going into fear. You don't have to buy into fear. There's healthy fear. There's times where we need to be accurately concerned about things. And then there's just that crazy existential fear that all it does is weaken you. And we all know this now. Anyone that's on social media, you will have come across this message, and now is the time to practice it. Truly, truly practice it. Okay, guys, there's not really anything else major enough to talk about this cycle. But this angst, this triggering of this bigger dynamic with Mars, like he's just like hitting it, which can be a good thing. It can be that it's activating revolution in our own lives. Like, let's revolt against fear. Let's activate that we are co-creators of this reality. And let's not just keep buying into that old negative, unquestioned beliefs and conditioned rules about how society is meant to go. This could be an exciting, liberating time. And I do feel as we get up towards the end of this year, where we have Jupiter, Saturn conjunct at the 0 degrees or degree of Aquarius, we're going to see some changes. And there is some very exciting astrological cycles to kick in 2025, 2026. I know that sounds like so far away, but I'm starting to have a look and see that there's more to this story than this intense moment that we find ourselves in right now. There are bigger cycles at play. Keep your hearts open. Don't succumb to fear. Stay strong. Stay with your courage and really remain wise and centered. And you will walk through this stronger. You will come through this wiser. You will come through this more compassionate, more generous, and more connected than ever. Okay, I'm wishing you all so well, and I look forward to seeing you all again next month.